quick question. How does this TikTok make you feel?
All I wanted was to go on a nice peaceful walk today, but yet again, here I am to complain about people not even being humans anymore. What are we doing? I'm walking towards this girl on the sidewalk, and God forbid we make eye contact or have any sort of human interaction on a how's it going kind of level. She's got the AirPods in, she's got the sunglasses on, she has her phone in landscape, folks. We have stooped to the level of having our phone in landscape like this? No. Please tell me you're not watching a movie just to avoid having some sort of human interaction. Guys, this needs to stop. Look around, get a little bit uncomfortable, and I don't know, say hi to a human that's 4 feet away from you. God. All right, there's my rant. Back to my peaceful walk.
My initial reaction, mostly negative. Mostly annoyed, mostly triggered, mostly just upset for the fact that people feel entitled to say things like that. Similar to the comments on the TikTok, which are so good. Some of them are actual gold. I was just overall annoyed. But before I go into some more of my thoughts, I wanted to share the person's response to this video.
God forbid
I'm 90% sure I'm the girl you're talking about in that video. And just to clear things up, if it was me, I was not watching a movie on landscape mode. I was actually listening to Brian Cox talk about space, the Fermi paradox, and the light after the Big Bang. So yeah, I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just more interested in learning about the origins of the universe than saying hi to a stranger. Sorry if that was rude.
So the first TikTok of the one that started this all, this man comes on and he says, I wanted to have a peaceful walk, but I run into this girl who has her AirPods in, who has her phone in landscape mode, and God forbid we have a human interaction. I think it's the stupidest thing that a woman could be critiqued for minding her own damn business, and that a man could come on the internet and be like, this is what's wrong with humanity. Is a woman minding her business? Choosing what to do with her own free will? That's a problem to you because it speaks to humanity? Oh my God. And there are much bigger things that I probably should make videos about that are not this dumb. But it triggered me. And also I feel like men would be so well served if they just went to therapy and realized, oh, I shouldn't have commented on this one interaction with this woman I had and spoke on humanity at large. I should have spoken on the fact that that woman made me feel rejected. I felt rejected by that, and it hurt my ego a little bit, and it makes me feel like I'm not connected to the people that I would like to be connected to. I would like to feel connected to my neighbors. You know what I mean? Instead, he came on and was like, it's a problem that people are like this. Shut the up. Ew!
The whole point of the video was that on a grand scale, there's a problem with social disconnect, which I think has serious consequences. I think it's the cordial and neighborly thing to do to just say hi, to kind of reinforce that community aspect of the place I live in. But regardless, people blew it out of proportion in perfect TikTok fashion, made it into kind of a male-female kind of thing, a predator dynamic, calling me things like a creep. The characteristics and behaviors that turn someone into an actual creep are the ones of social disconnect. Those tendencies of not interacting with people, being very closed off, living virtually, that's what creates that. And it becomes super problematic and dangerous.
I wish men were so tapped into embarrassment the way that women are by by much greater things. I'm getting so upset. This is triggering to a lot of women specifically because I feel as though women have the pressure to be as pleasant as possible, as often as possible, not only just because we would like to feel like it, but for safety reasons, which is actually really disappointing. It's really disappointing. It's also really sad because he came on and responded to the negativity that he was receiving and saying, you guys are blowing this out of proportion. I was just speaking on the fact that I want to see humanity, and it's also unsafe for people to have their AirPods in and whatever. It's a safety thing. It's no. A lot of women viewed that as you were critiquing the way this woman was just experiencing her life, minding her own damn business, and saying, oh, this is the loss of humanity. When it's like women already feel the pressure to be as pleasant as possible. And it's like an active resistance to just be able to mind your own business and not try to appeal to men all the time. Like that's the deepest part of how I feel about this. And like, I think that this is triggering a lot of women because a decent amount of us have had experiences where some person has talked to us when we were not in the mood to be talked to, and then been critiqued about our own attitudes, about how we handled something that we did not want. To play devil's advocate for like a second, and of course, I'm not even on this man's side at all. He makes me uncomfortable. I didn't stand behind his message. I will validate the fact that sometimes it is hard. It is a hit to the ego when you go out in a friendly mood or like smiling at strangers and you are not getting that energy returned. That is rough. That is hard to feel. But it's another thing to then like come onto the internet in an entitled way to be like, I didn't get what I wanted, and this speaks to everybody else but me, you know? And I will say, like, sometimes as a woman, like, I think that's also the critical piece that's missing in here is that women feel triggered by this, and I don't want to speak on all women, okay? Like, a lot of women may not feel like this, but, like, violence against women just simply existing is something that we are incredibly aware of. And I've had to even tell myself, like, I have to persuade myself out of being accommodating to like random people. I no longer like to entertain strangers in public because it just has rarely felt worth it to me. I've had to kind of rewire my brain into realizing that like I don't owe people anything, and that's a hard lesson to learn because there are so many trials and errors. Like the other day, I was at Walmart, I dropped my debit card unknowingly. This man came up to me and was like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" And I was like, hey, no, don't talk to me for a single millisecond. And I was like rushing to my car because I was scared something was going to happen to me. And I'm like getting my keys out, and he like hands me my debit card, like kind of forcibly comes up to me and is like, your debit card. And I felt immediately bad because I was like, this man was just trying to return my debit card. I'm such a bitch, you know? But it's also kind of like, well, you asked me like, hey, can I talk to you? And I don't really owe you conversation if I don't know you. You know what I mean? I felt like a bad person because I wasn't open to communicating, but it's like, lead with the fact that you have my debit card and I will be open to that. You know what I mean? I regret the way that I handled it because it was a random act of just kindness. He didn't have to do that for me. But at the same time, I feel like men sometimes struggle with realizing that like their good intentions are things that make women feel very uncomfortable and unsafe sometimes. I'm a part of this anonymous group for people who have loved ones with some abuse issues. And one of the things that I strongly believe in now is that like no matter what, if you have a problematic person in your life, at the end of the day, I feel like what was missing from the original video was just the recognition that you can only control what you can control, and you cannot will other people to change their behaviors to mirror yours or to get the energy that you would like to see from strangers out of strangers. And that's all I have. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, or night, and I hope you mind your damn business.